Hello, Scarlet Marble here, and the Super Mario Bros. Movie has just been released. And despite mixed critical reception, the film has quickly broken several box office records and become beloved by the general audience. I happen to be a big Nintendo fan myself, so I felt this was the perfect opportunity to create my first non-Marvel video by reviewing the Super Mario Bros. Movie. I personally understand things best through a quantitative and categorical lens, so with this video, I'm introducing a grading system for my movie reviews. Films will be evaluated through 10 categories, receiving a score out of 10 for each, that will then be added together to give the movie a total score out of 100. Having explained the rules, let's get started with my review of the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Mario games have never really been known for having complex or interesting storylines. So perhaps it's fitting that the Super Mario Bros. Movie's story is easily its weakest element. At its core, this movie is about Mario and Princess Peach on a journey to save Mario's brother Luigi and Peach's Mushroom Kingdom from the evil King Bowser. This plot will sound familiar to Mario fans, as it's essentially the same basic plot found in a majority of Mario games, showing the movie's dedication to accurately adapting the source material. Admittedly, this storyline is rather shallow and straightforward, which prevents the movie's plot from feeling at all unique or impactful. Although, there are a few moments that expand upon the traditional Mario formula, such as the side quests to the Jungle Kingdom in search of help, and the New York scenes at the beginning and end of the film, that add a bit of depth to the story. Overall, the plot is serviceable, as a rather generic heroic journey to stop a bad guy. And although it could be nice for a Mario movie to have a more substantive story, I believe that the simple plot actually allowed the other elements of the film to shine brighter, and made it easier for viewers to sit back and enjoy the adventure, without needing to put much thought into the events on screen. Given all these reasons, I give the Super Mario Bros. Movie a story score of 5 out of 10.
It's me, Mario!
The Mario franchise boasts some of the most iconic characters in all of pop culture, and this movie proves that they can be just as relevant on the big screen. The titular Mario brothers, Mario and Luigi, are joined by Peach, Toad, Donkey Kong, Cranky Kong, and the villainous Bowser as the main characters of this film. When compared to their game counterparts, most of the movie's characters have been improved through distinct personalities and character traits, with Peach and Bowser being the standouts. Peach has been reimagined from a damsel in distress to a brave and capable leader and fighter. Bowser's love for music and for Peach provide a unique personality and clearer motivation compared to his game counterpart. Mario and Luigi have a new family backstory that informs their motivations throughout the film, with their sibling bond coming across stronger than ever before. Despite the well-constructed characterizations, one of the movie's bigger weaknesses is the lack of character development, with no characters growing beyond their initial characterization in a substantial way. This likely makes the characters appear shallow to audience members unfamiliar with Mario games. I should also mention that this movie's all-star cast did quite well with their vocal performances, ranging from Chris Pratt's generic but serviceable performance as Mario, which was the weakest of the bunch, to Jack Black's dynamic performance as Bowser, which was easily the standout. With all this said, I give the Super Mario Bros. Movie a character score of 7 out of 10. The characters and settings of the Mario universe are recognizable around the world, so I imagine it was a big undertaking to translate such iconic designs to cinematic versions. Luckily, I believe the team behind this movie succeeded, and in some ways, even improved upon these designs. Mario characters are not usually very detailed, so I was amazed to see how good they looked with deeper textures on their hair, faces, and clothes. And even the slightly altered proportions surprisingly looked great in Illumination's signature style. Background characters were also well designed, particularly Bowser's army, with their individualized armor and weapons that helped make the world feel real. I also appreciate the different design styles that were used to contrast citizens of the Mushroom Kingdom from those in New York. This contrast extended to the settings themselves, with the Mushroom Kingdom and New York looking stylistically different in a way that emphasized characters' bewilderment when journeying between the two. Even within the Mushroom Kingdom, the different settings are designed beautifully and distinctly, making the world feel far larger than the few locations that predominantly feature, while also bringing to life many iconic game settings for Mario fans to recognize and enjoy. Each location is filled with so much detail, including Easter eggs to a plethora of Nintendo games, and little insights into the cultures of each location. For all these reasons, I give the Super Mario Bros. Movie a design score of 10 out of 10.
Mamma mia!
While Illumination is not exactly known for making consistently good films, it is known for consistently well done animation, and the Super Mario Bros. Movie is no exception. This film is animated in Illumination's typical CG style, with admittedly nothing new brought to the table. However, this animation style works quite well to bring the Mario universe to life, and it's clear that the animators worked closely with Nintendo to make sure the characters, items, and settings moved in ways that perfectly reflected their video game counterparts. It was so exciting to see characters run, jump, and use power-ups in the exact ways that they do in the games. Items and settings like the warp pipes, carts, item blocks, and Rainbow Road came to life in motion as if ripped straight out of the games. The movie could even expand past the games by creating new, more detailed animations that accurately reflect the characteristics of the iconic characters, items, and settings. Despite all this, in a post-Spider-Verse cinematic landscape, animation must push past the norm to feel fresh, and this movie is content to remain standard in its animation. Still, I give the Super Mario Bros. Movie an animation score of 9 out of 10. Various sub-elements go into editing, so I'll discuss each separately, starting with cinematography. Mostly, this movie is quite standard in its cinematography. However, some specific angles are used to imitate the perspectives of Mario games, particularly the 2D side-scrollers. Because of this, in some scenes, it truly feels like you're playing a Mario game alongside the film's characters. There are also several shots that exhibit the beautiful settings of the Mushroom Kingdom through stunning visuals, in addition to a few shots that cleverly use visual elements to give us more insight into a character's identity. Next, let's go over the coloring and lighting. This movie does some clever work here, portraying the Mushroom Kingdom as bright and colorful, which contrasts with the dark and muted New York. Within the Mushroom Kingdom, a variety of similarly lit color schemes are used to differentiate its many areas, while maintaining a consistency separate from the New York setting. Lastly, for editing, let's discuss the movie's pace. This is the movie's weakest editing element, as scenes mostly speed by, not allowing much time to feel the impact of the story beats, which makes the plot feel more shallow than it already is. However, the speed of the film, moving from action to action, does prevent the audience from getting bored, which could be seen as a plus, particularly for younger audience members. Overall, I give the Super Mario Bros. Movie an editing score of 7 out of 10. The Mario series features some of the most recognizable music in video game history, so I'm sure it was a no-brainer to feature as much Mario music as possible in its film adaptation. Despite this, it still came as a pleasant surprise to me just how well they managed to integrate so much game music into the movie. It put a large smile on my face when I heard the level complete theme as Peach finished the training course, and hearing the DK rap as Donkey Kong's entrance music, and especially hearing the medley of Mario themes through the decades that played in the film's final act. This excellent use of iconic music was already enough to earn a high score in this category. But the movie goes one step further by including a hilarious, over-the-top, original love song performed by Jack Black's Bowser. This song adds to the story and to Bowser's characterization, and it also provides the movie with another unique element to differentiate it from the source material. Unfortunately, this film also succumbs to the Illumination trope of including several pop songs. While they occasionally fit well with a scene, they mostly feel out of place, taking the audience out of the movie. For these reasons, I give the Super Mario Bros. Movie a sound score of 8 out of 10.
Hey, Luigi!
Due to having a relatively short and shallow story, there's very little space in the movie for complex themes. The two main themes I noticed in the film were family acceptance and heroism. Several characters seek familial acceptance, ultimately receiving it, or at least finding strength in the family members already providing validation. Perhaps due to the strong bond I have with my own brother, I particularly found inspiration in the strength that Mario and Luigi have through their sibling bond that allows them to take on insurmountable odds. The strength Peach finds in her found family of Toads, despite her longing to feel accepted by the family she never knew, was also intriguing for the impact it could have on children in similar situations. The theme of family also connects to the theme of heroism, as Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Donkey Kong all become heroes in order to protect their families, while Bowser becomes a villain by pursuing his own selfish interests. Through this, audience members can learn that connecting to the people around us makes us heroes, an important message particularly for young children. Each of these themes could be compelling, but the movie fails to explore them, focusing instead on action and humor, meaning the impact is mostly lost. Because of this, I gave the Super Mario Bros. Movie a theme score of 5 out of 10. Aaron Horvath and Michael Jelenic, directors of the Super Mario Bros. Movie, had the difficult task of turning a widely beloved video game property into a cohesive and entertaining film that can stand on its own and accurately reflect the source material. The end result is a shockingly well put together movie that truly brings the Mushroom Kingdom to life on the big screen for the first time. The movie's tone is consistent, with humor and action being a part of nearly every scene. Perhaps most importantly, the film is an incredibly accurate adaptation of the Mario games, with the characters, settings, story, and sound all creating intense feelings of nostalgia in any Mario fan. This is the first movie I've seen that truly manages to evoke the feeling of playing a video game. This is easily one of Illumination's most cohesive films, with every element coming together to create a purely entertaining and immersive experience. However, the movie does heavily rely on the audience's familiarity with the Mario franchise, potentially alienating certain audience members. Nostalgia plays a big role in enjoying the film, due to the abundance of game references, and the film's speed and lack of depth could make it difficult to feel attachment for the characters or the world without prior knowledge. With all this in mind, I gave the Super Mario Bros. Movie a direction score of 8 out of 10. I define the legacy category as the combination of a film's impact on the real world and any future possibilities opened up by the film. When it comes to the Super Mario Bros. Movie, it has quickly cemented itself as one of the most successful animated films of all time, and the single most successful film based on a video game. It's clear that this movie has guaranteed itself long-lasting relevance in pop culture. This will also likely impact the movie business itself, changing the way that Hollywood approaches video game adaptations, potentially even kickstarting a golden age of video game movies. The end credits scene of the film also teased a clear direction for the franchise, showing a Yoshi egg about to hatch. This shows that Nintendo and Illumination have definitive plans to continue Mario's story, and Yoshi, an immensely popular character in his own right, could even launch a spin-off franchise. With Nintendo's massive library of popular IP, I wouldn't be surprised if their partnership with Illumination expands beyond the Mario universe, with film adaptations of other popular franchises. Clearly, this movie has left a large impact that will only continue to grow as we see the long-term effects it has on Nintendo, the movie industry, and pop culture as a whole. With all that said, I give the Super Mario Bros. Movie a legacy score of 10 out of 10.
Let's go!
As a big Nintendo fan and animation fan, I was definitely the target audience for this movie. I simply couldn't stop smiling as I sat in the theater and looked up in amazement as the games I played as a kid came to life on the big screen. I especially enjoyed finding hidden references to a variety of Nintendo games in nearly every scene. By the end of the film, I was filled with joy as Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Donkey Kong fought against Bowser, reminding me of the countless rounds of Super Smash Bros. That I played with my family. The best moment came in the end credit scene, as I learned that my favorite non-Pokemon Nintendo character, Yoshi, would soon be coming to the big screen. I left feeling so happy, and I couldn't stop thinking about all the future possibilities. It also helped that the audience I watched with seemed to enjoy the film as much as I did, creating a memorable theater experience that further boosted my enjoyment of the film. The theater even exploded with applause at the end, which I've only experienced a few other times. Because of my strong attachment to the franchise, it was easy for me to overlook the movie's flaws, and just enjoy the adventure I was on. Ultimately, I gave the Super Mario Bros. Movie a personal enjoyment score of 10 out of 10.
Yahoo!
Combining the scores of each category reveals my overall score for the Super Mario Bros. Movie as a 79 out of 100. To summarize, this is an endlessly entertaining movie that provides Mario fans with a well-realized cinematic version of the games they love. However, it is not without its flaws, as a weak story and reliance on nostalgia will certainly keep some audience members uninterested. So, if you're a Mario fan, or just like fun, easygoing animated adventures, this is likely the flick for you. However, this has all just been my opinion, so I encourage you all to check out the film and decide for yourself whether you like it or not. Or, if you've already seen it, I invite you to share your thoughts down in the comments below. I'd love to hear from everyone. Thanks for joining me for today's review. This was my second review ever, and my first non-Marvel related video, so let me know what you thought in the comments below, and let me know if you liked this format better. If you want to compare to the past format I used, which is more of a free-flow, unscripted style, check out the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania review I made, right up here. Otherwise, check out any of the other Marvelous videos up on this channel, and have a great day. I'll see you in another video. Thanks. Bye.